Is there anything more embarrassing in life when you think someone's talking to you, but they're definitely not, and you acknowledge them? That's how I started my morning here in the American Basin. Today, we're gonna be hiking. We got Aria with me today. We're gonna be re-hiking Handies Peak via the standard route or American Basin. You know the deal. For a full guide on this one, you can check the link in the description below. This route in particular holds a pretty special place in my heart because this is, I think, one of the first 14ers, if not the first 14er that Juno and I did. So brought some of her ashes up here today, gonna spread her on the summit, and also let Aria tag her first 14er. It is spring, but there is a ton of snow left, so we'll show you that more later. For now, because some idiot blocked the road and we can't go by them, I can't drive up this, even though I obviously can, so we gotta walk up to the upper trailhead. I talk way more about camping in the full guide, but something I've noticed since I've been here last, the Forest Service has done an excellent job of putting these posts in, and also, I don't want to walk right up into it, but there's a fire grate right there too. I'm sure it's somewhere on a sign, but let's be honest, nobody reads anything anymore, so I'm going to tell you here what that means. If you want to camp, snag one of those spots and don't make your own campsite. This area in particular is massively popular with off-roading, OTVing, camping, hiking, you name it. So they're trying to reduce the amount of campsites that are popping up just because people don't want to deal with finding one that's actually a campsite. Just help keep this area good for future generations by snagging one of those. I'm actually camping at one tonight, so really nice to have a fire pit. Here's the upper trailhead. Trail starts to the left. Complaining about that person who blocked the road, but it's only a half mile each way, so a mile round trip it adds on, and very minimal elevation gain. Taking a look at beautiful American Basin back here. There are some coolars calling my name up here for the next season, but for now, basically what you're gonna do is take this around left and then kind of up to the shoulder, and then that's not the real summit of Handies, but close enough right there. This hike is let's say between 6 and 7 miles depending on where you start, and very minimal elevation gain. We're at like 11.6 right now, and this is just barely a 14er. It's like 14.03 something. Yeah, just only about 25, let's call it 2,500 feet of gain. Just because I know there'll be a drone hardo in the comments somewhere. Right now on is all wilderness area, so no more flying. All the flying I did was outside of the wilderness area. From here, you're gonna go left if you wanted to hit up Jones Mountain, 13er, Centennial, that way. Aria is a couple pounds lighter now and has found some energy, so that should be good for me as I now have a sleigh right up there. In the summer, when there's not snow, there is a trail, so obviously stick to that. When there's snow up here, it's okay to just kind of stick to the most direct route. Kind of featureless upper basin here, but essentially what you're going to want to do is gain this ridge and the summit right there. As we're kind of headed up some of the, I guess, steeper stuff here, let's talk about gear for both you and your dog. For your dog, this is Handies from this route. Pretty easy 14er for really everybody involved. I'm carrying micro spikes, I have hiking poles. I don't anticipate needing either one of them. However, if you don't have a lot of experience in the snow in particular, crampons might be helpful. I say all this not to like say this is what you need, but I want you to have a successful summit. So if you don't have a ton of experience, having that gear, know how to use it might be helpful. Mountain axe is probably an overkill, but if you want to glissade, you might be able to in a couple sections. For your dog, especially if your dog hasn't done a 14er, just be sure to take it slow, let them have breaks, give them lots of water, lots of food. As we all know, dogs are kind of idiots sometimes, and they're awesome, but they're idiots because they'll just work themselves until they're literally can't go anymore. And when you're up at this altitude, can be dangerous, you know, if your dog isn't used to it. I'm purposely stopping, making Aria sit, eat snow, dig holes, and just let her catch up, since this is her first time up a 14er. Such a beautiful spot here. This is Sloan Lake. It's almost July, and you can see how much snow is up here still. A near record-breaking year for the San Juans in terms of amount of snow, which is great because it just hopefully mitigates chances of wildfire, busts the drought in a lot of areas. Yeah, for anyone looking to get snow lines, come to the American Basin. I'm sure these will be in for quite a while. If you look at my GPX track, we are a bit above Standard Trail, which is down there. You can kind of obviously see it go up the rock and then join the shoulder. We're going to go a little bit higher. We're going to end up in the same place, but because there's a booter in there already and there's not over there, and we're already up here, we're just going to stay up. But just kind of a note, if you're following my GPX, that's what's happening here. Arriving to the saddle here, so Handies up that way. Beautiful view into the San Juans. Pretty windy, but not super cold, which is nice. Another 300-400 feet of vertical gain to the summit, and yeah, we should have it to ourselves, I believe. Couple of false summits on Handies, this one and I think a little one after that. Aria soaking in these stunning views. Man, what a day. Top of Handies Peak, Aria has made it up her first 14er. I'm very, very proud of her. She did great. Good job. This one will be just under 6 miles round trip. Views up here are absolutely awesome. Took some time to memorialize our fallen first daughter, Juno, and made a little memorial for her up here. And Aria's doing great, just being a dog. Yeah, the Handies is, I would say, one of the easier 14ers in the state if you approach from American Basin. You do need 4x4. I'll talk all about that in the full guide, but it's pretty much a walk up. Even with the snow here, it was such a non-issue to get up here, so really happy we came up. Really beautiful morning. Had the summit to ourselves for a little bit here, and the winds are dying down a bit, so yeah, this is a really special place for me, the San Juans in general and Handies Peak in particular, so just really grateful to get up here again. Aria started to actually shiver at the top, which I thought was impossible for a husky, but she's definitely a leaner dog, and yeah, obviously don't want to make her cold, so moving down to where it'll be much warmer. Grateful to have some windless moments in between the gusts on Handies here. Come on, Aria. Oh no! She's like, what? starting to post hole, not great. But that's gonna wrap up this video of Handies Peak up there somewhere. Standard route or the approach from American Basin here. As I mentioned, this is a good 14er for those looking for an easier one in general, especially if you are not from the state and you're kind of looking to get one in the southern parts. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I do virtual trail guides here in Colorado. I've done all the 14ers, many different routes on a lot of them. Let's check out that playlist if you're interested in that. Otherwise, help support the channel through gear, through the Patreon, through subscribing to the channel. I know a lot of people that watch are just looking to get their beta and move on, which is totally cool, but help keep this alive, and maybe in the future they'll come back again to watch another video because I'll still be making them because you subscribed. On behalf of Aria, who is hunting a marmot up there, and myself, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next adventure. All right, so I think I'm gonna start doing this from now on because I like to reward people who are watching the whole video. This snow right here, if you have a dog or a human, you can see it's kind of like reddish in tint, way more so over here. Do not eat that. It's a sort of fungus or bacteria that grows on top of the snow. I know for dogs it's very bad, so I'm sure for humans it's not good, but obviously Aria is like sticking her head down, eating the snow every 2 seconds, but when I start to go over patches like that, I try to really be careful about it. And also, because you hung around, we're gonna get some bonus views up this pass. I'm gonna butcher the name, Cinnamaron or something like that. And we're gonna drive up there, fly the drone. Hope you enjoy.